All right, we're back working on the Deer Lease Cruiser. Awesome 88 FJ62 Land Cruiser, brought back from the dead Deer Lease, and drained the coolant. You can see coolant was super low the first time I drove it, and it started overheating. I filled it up, and then I figured out why it was low, because there's a leak. I think it's just a hose, maybe it's a water pump, we'll see. But we went ahead and bought a new thermostat. We're gonna flush the crap out of this cooling system. So I just drained the coolant there, and we're gonna start working on the thermostat. So this video is gonna be how to change your thermostat in your FJ62 3FE engine. So stay with me. Comment, like, subscribe down below if you want to see more content for the FJ. Bringing it back from the dead. We'll get it on the road safely, and something that'll run and drive like it was meant to be, and kind of go from there. But stay tuned. Toyota uses these screw type clamps like this. This 10mm loosens it up. Okay. Now that should be loosened up. We got to pull the hose off. See if we can do this without destroying it. You know, we don't even really need to pull that off. We just pull this out of the way. Definitely crusty. I'm gonna tighten that back up. Let's tighten back up. I think that goes down to the water pump. Okay, so there's our thermostat. So basically, I'm able to just kind of pull this thing out of the way, and we're gonna replace that thermostat. You know, I might replace these hoses too. If you want to see that in a future video, then put a comment down below and we'll do it. It's definitely the same part. So there we go. Definitely boogered up pretty good. My new thermostat did not come with a gasket, so we are gonna have to go source one. So that was why it's underneath the gasket. So the thermostat goes in, then the gasket. And you can see, let's compare the old one and the new one. It's like it's cocked in there. Yeah, so it's definitely busted. It's crooked, and I don't believe it's supposed to be that way. Now, will it still function? I doubt it, but it's not going to get the right pressure, and this thing is designed to have this thing in, and it's not supposed to be this. It's supposed to be, it's like the weld failed up here on the body. So thermostat's definitely no good. We're gonna need a thermostat gasket, because I assumed that it would come with it incorrectly. So, all right, so to be continued. We gotta go source a gasket. So I'll be right back, hopefully with a gasket. All right, we're back. We got a gasket, but it's the right one, verified with the old one. Right there it is. Looks good to me. Now this is a 180 degree thermostat. So pretty. All right, that surface is good to go. I don't know if you can see, but it's nice and clean. All right, I think we're gonna put it on there dry. You can use RTV on these, but I don't think you need to. I think you can just put them on. So put that go like that. So like you get. A little bit of grease on these. And turned up. You can see all this crap built up inside these little coolant ports and stuff. We're gonna do a coolant flush, which should help get a lot of that out. It's got a mild acid in it that eats the corrosion, and that should free up. We poked it through. As long as the water's flowing, it's not completely blocked, then we should be good to go. All right, put her back together. There we go. This impact can be pretty powerful, so I like to tighten it up by hand just so you can kind of feel it, especially on something that has the potential to leak, so you can kind of snug it up yourself. I'm sure there is a torque spec, but for a job like this, we're just going to tighten it up. Okay. Okay. Put our vacuum lines back on. Hook up our switch. Hose clamp, good to go. And a big shout out thanks to Jason Dante. So on these Toyota thermostats, there's actually two gaskets. There's the gasket for the housing, and there's also an O-ring that goes on top of the thermostat. I pulled the old one out, it didn't have it, so I didn't think much of it. And I was actually looking at the service manual afterwards, and I noticed that there was this seal in there. Jason Dante, thank you, gave me a comment and told me that there isn't a gasket on top of the thermostat. This O-ring, it's like a rubber O-ring, it's about 1/8 inch thick. So bottom line, we're gonna take this apart and put it in there and get it done right and see if there's any difference. Okay, so we got the radiator draining right now. Check it out. See it dripping? See, just loosen up our plug, pop the cap. Now we don't need to drain the whole thing, we just need to drain it below the thermostat housing there. So we'll let that drain for a little bit and be right back. All right, we got it opened up. Check it out. There it is. Gasket's still in place. Everything looks good. We don't need to take it off. Gasket's still in place, but this apparently goes right on top. Helps make a seal in the top of the housing there. So let's check the housing, make sure it's not stuck in the housing. So our old gasket, there was an old gasket in there, and it's nice and crusty. So here's our old gasket. You can see it's pretty rough. Lots of crusty, nasty stuff in there. So thanks, Mr. Dante, and we're getting it swapped out. Okay, so you can see pretty crusty up here, so we're going to clean that out. Okay, we got it cleaned up. Just a little wire wheel. Here's our gasket. See, it goes on there. Got a nice clean surface, clean enough, and reinstall. Okay, get that all buttoned up. We got our O-ring installed and hose and everything. I did take the belts off. I'm going to replace these 2 front belts, so wait on that. Fill the coolant up and good to go. Shout out. Thanks for the comment, and appreciate you watching. See you next time.